We all have the intention of saving, but many times it is very difficult to achieve it. In the following minutes, I will explain 4 possible reasons why you can't save. 1. Waiting for the end of the month. You wait to see if there is any money left over after working a full month. The long-awaited day has finally arrived, your payday. You immediately think, I've worked so hard this month, I deserve to go somewhere different for dinner. So you spend a good portion of your salary to treat yourself. The next day you get your electric bill and your cell phone bill, so you pay them. 3 days later, at work, you decide to go out to celebrate the birthday of one of your coworkers and you have to spend on food and also contribute to the cake that you are going to buy for your coworkers. In the evening, when you get home, you receive the message that you have to pay the rent and maintenance of your house. So you proceed to pay it, but when you look at your bank account, you are surprised because you can't believe that in only 3 days you only have that amount of money left. It's only been a few days and you've already spent more than half of your salary. Now you will have to live with the little money you have left and stretch that money as far as you can to see if you can make ends meet or, if not, in the worst case scenario, you will have to use your credit card. Although last month you had already promised yourself that you were not going to use it, just in case you had the money to pay for it. 2. Use your savings for any situation that comes up. Marta is a very organized young woman. Every month she saves a good part of her salary and keeps it in a little box in her closet. That little box is well hidden and none of her relatives know that she has it there. Marta always saves and saves, but she doesn't know the exact amount she has in her box. Marta's problem is that, just as she saves every month, she also ends up using a large part of what she has saved, because a situation always arises that forces her to use her savings. For example, Marta was sitting quietly at home when at one point her mother called her and asked her if she could borrow $50 to go to the market to buy some fruit. Hiromi, seeing that she had no money in her purse, took the money out of her little box, but promised herself that she would replace it as soon as possible. On the contrary, several days later she had to take more money out of her purse to use it for something else she needed. Likewise, the month before, she had to take money out of her cash drawer to pay off her credit card, because she went overboard buying things she didn't need. This usually happens when we don't put much protection on our savings. We must prioritize the amount we are saving and try to secure it as much as possible. Ideally, you can put that savings in a place where you do not have so much access to it so that you can avoid the temptations that will arise during the month. Also, you have to put a name to those savings so that they can carry more weight for you. If you don't know what you are saving for, then whatever comes up will be the destination of your savings, because by having money available, you will be tempted to use it at any time. On the contrary, if you start to name your savings or place them as the goals you have, this will motivate you to continue increasing that amount month after month and not to use it on things that are not related to that initial purpose. 3. Spending more than 30% on rent or mortgage payments. Bob has always wanted to save money, but realistically, looking at his monthly budget, he knows he can't save a single peso. Unfortunately, his entire salary is compromised. Bob is a processing assistant in a major bank in his country and has a monthly salary of $600. He lives in a rented house where he has to pay every month the amount of $300. Additionally, between transportation, internet, his cell phone, electricity and food, he spends the $300 that remains of his $600 salary. He has nothing left for himself, because all the money is distributed to his fixed expenses. The alarming situation in Bob's budget is that he is spending more than 50% of his salary on rent for his home. The amount you are going to pay on your rent or mortgage loan cannot exceed 30% of your income or the total of you and your partner's income. If it is higher than that percentage, then your budget will be greatly affected and you will have many limitations and financial worries. Bob couldn't rent that apartment, but his dream was always to live in an expensive area of his city. He said that if he was going to work in a bank, he had to live in a decent area. So he decided to take on that expensive rent and preferred that to having more financial freedom. Besides that, he forgot that, in addition to the fixed expenses, there are also the variable expenses, which are those unplanned expenses that may arise every month, such as an illness, something to repair in the house, clothes to buy, an extra fee to pay, a help to a family member. Living with such a tight budget, where you don't have the possibility of having at least a small part for yourself, can be very frustrating and at the same time very dangerous. Don't take on more than you can afford. If your dream is to live in a certain place, have a car of a well-known brand, travel to a country, or something else, create a specific savings for that goal and you will be able to see your dreams come true at some point. We must be aware and understand that, if at this moment I don't have the capacity to buy something, maybe this is not the right time. But don't let that discourage you from not fulfilling your dreams. On the contrary, look for ways to increase your income so you can get what you want so much. I don't see limitations, on the contrary, I see possibilities. If someone could achieve something, you can too. The only thing holding you back is yourself. 4. Having a lot of debts. Saving will be impossible if you are full of debts. In these cases, the priority is to pay all your debts. The interest on some loans or credit cards is often very high. It is better if you can focus on paying this off as soon as possible. If you have several debts, you can evaluate debt consolidation. Many banks offer this type of service and give you a lower interest rate than you are currently paying. This will give you more cash flow. However, this is the case for people who have a lot of debt. If this is not your case and you only have a loan that was properly planned and that you have within your budget, then you can save. It is only recommended that you do not save a large amount, but a small amount that allows you to create the habit of saving. So that when you finish paying your loan, the habit is already created and you can save a larger amount per month. One of the causes of stress in people is finances. Not having enough money to be able to pay all the responsibilities of the month is usually very frustrating. That is why, in many cases, people resort to personal loans and others, in order to make up for the money that is missing for the month. Debts are not bad, but we must be very careful on what we get into debt and if we will have the money to pay those installments. These are the 4 possible reasons why you cannot save. Try to identify which of these you have so you can eradicate them from your life. Today is your best day to start from scratch the habit of saving, no matter the amount. Starting is the key that will lead you to achieve your goals. As we saw, the most important thing is to create the habit of saving and then find the means to secure that amount. Before you go, if you are one of those people who spend a lot of money, then you have to click on this video. Bob Economist says goodbye here.